Good morning. This is Debra Cox, and it's Talk Thursday. You see some of the water is moving in pond life. The wind is gently blowing on one side of the pond, and the other it's kind of at a standstill. The sun's rising. It's, early in the day, and hopefully it's going to be a good day. Hopefully it won't be too heated. I know this week we've gotten some good rain. I know in our area we've gotten over the last couple of days 2.5 inches of rain, and that's good, for our area because of the severe drought we have been in. We're still teetering on double-digit deficit, but we're getting there. And so today I want to talk a little bit more about the game plan, like I referenced mental health last week, talking about offense things and defense things. This week I want to talk about scoring, which is a good thing in sports, and penalties, which is a bad thing. And we go through good things and bad things as it relates to mental health. And I'm going to share some good things and some bad things. And not everybody has the same struggles or goes through the same things with their mental health. But I will tell you this, if you are struggling and you don't have anyone to talk to, call or text 988. It's a very important number you need to memorize because they can help you to reach someone. Also, talk to your preacher. Another is reach out to your medical professional and try to find a counseling service that you can, be able to have conversation with. Sometimes it gets to that point, sometimes it doesn't, but you've got to be on the scoring side and make those calls to have a better life with mental health. There are things that you can do to help your struggles with mental health. That's like diving into the arts, painting, drawing, sketching, pottery making, jewelry making. You can garden, you can cook, dive deep into music, learning to play an instrument, singing, those sort of things, because it really and truly does help. I love to dabble in painting. It helps me. I, have anxiety from time to time, but it's been quite some time since I've had to deal with medication, and that's a wonderful thing. I have a great support system with family and friends that if I feel the slightest anxiousness, I can turn to them. I can also meditate and read my Bible and say my daily prayers. That's a positive as far as scoring for good mental health. But we also need to be ambassadors, advocates to help those that might be struggling, to help those think twice about not getting help as to getting help, because everybody goes through something. Sometimes it's just minor issues they can overcome, but sometimes they're more major and take a deeper look at. So let's do as much scoring as we can on the positive side with our mental health, because it's very vital, very important to who we are and our well-being and in our communities. On the penalty side of mental health, sometimes we have setbacks. Sometimes we take one step forward and 2 steps back. And you really have to work on these because sometimes it takes a little bit more effort, concerted effort to dive deep into getting answers. But figure things out that you can do on the scoring side of mental health to overcome these penalties. Say if you backslide with an issue with your mental health, that's all the more reason to try to take 2 steps forward instead of 2 steps back. Mental health is important, not just during Mental Health Awareness Month. Mental health is vital, very important. And so I hope you will take heed and pay attention and, share these videos out with someone in need. like I said, I'm a mental health advocate, and I'm a firm believer everybody needs to have good mental health. We all struggle at some point in time in our lives with something, and there's no need for us to struggle. Life is hard enough as it is, and we can get the needed help. Like you hear the airplane, the crop duster in the background. We can take off flying and do great works, put the mental health issues behind. It might be harder to do for some than others, but it's doable. It really and truly is. You never know the struggles a person goes through. You never know what a family goes through, especially if they've lost a loved one to suicide, whether it's a drug overdose or slow drink of alcoholism or otherwise. Those family members sometimes struggle with life over time because of losing that loved one in a horrific way. Sometimes it takes years to overcome, but I will tell you, the most important thing I can share with you is the importance of family and friends. Families need to get together like we did back in the 60s and 70s. Yeah, I'm telling my age. I'm mid-60s. But families are important, and in today's society, sometimes family is not always blood. Sometimes, it's otherwise. But we need to focus and help each other and, be as good steward of mental health as we possibly can. I know I sound like I'm rambling, but I want everybody to heed this saying. Family's important. Our mental health is important. And, sometimes our family members can give us grief and stress. But overall, families can be stronger if we work together on this issue as it relates to mental health. So this middle of June, as we prepare for Father's Day, there are a lot of us out there that lost our fathers at an early age. We just need to celebrate those fathers that are here, and also remember those that have lost fathers over the past years. And remember the love and concern that they had for you and your families. So with this being said, I hope you have a great week. Put a little sunshine in your life. You'll be glad you did. Take a morning walk. Do something for yourself. Try to stay positive. Yeah, in this day and time, it's easier said than done, but it takes baby steps to move forward. Instead of taking one step forward and 2 steps back, you can change that to be 2 steps forward and 1 step back. And then you can change it where it's always forward and no steps back. But we're all going to continue to have issues and struggles in life, but the way we look at it, whether it's with a positive or a negative, whether it's with a scoring drive of mental health or a penalty of mental health, we need to try to be as positive as we can. Think about it like this. Reflect on kindness, 2 or 3 things a day. And the more you do that, whether it's something you saw in somebody else or something you did, then when the bad or negative hits, it won't be quite as bad. So try this. You'll be glad you did. I hope you have a wonderful week. Happy Father's Day to all those dads out there. And I will see you next week. I'm going to leave you with a few sights and sounds of pond life.